Hey Aquarius, welcome to your 2020 forecast. We're going to see what's happening. Happy New Year. See what's happening in the year ahead. We're going to look in this deck here for your messages for the year. And then we're going to pull a angel card for you guys at the end to see what angel is going to be with Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising in the year 2020. This is going to be a 12-month forecast. I'm going to pull one card for each and every single month. And we're going to move it along. So let's see here, my dears, January 2020 for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And we have Judgment. So you guys are going into the new year really kind of with some decisions to make. A lot of the times when the Judgment card comes up, we have a situation where we're feeling very called to go in a new direction. And, new year, new you, you're coming up on a birthday in the early part of the year. You might really be thinking more seriously about going in that new direction. A lot of the times the Judgment card says that call is feeling stronger and stronger and more difficult to ignore or put off. Judgment is also a card that comes up a lot of the times, Aquarius. I don't want to scare you, but it comes up a lot of the times when you might be dealing with a low vibrational person who you have a very karmic connection with, and you need to make the decision to break away from that. And some of you may have already done so. Some of you are like, oh, that's so 2019. Oh, I already did that. Don't be surprised if in 2020, in the early part of 2020, this individual resurfaces again. Because I feel, Aquarius, you're on the verge of such a massive shift that after this shift, energetically, they're not going to be able to reach you again. They're not going to be able to tap into you again. And once that happens, that's it. Like game over for that person. So they may really come in pulling out all the stops, like making one final try, even though you've made it very clear that you're not interested. Okay, so Judgment is going to indicate a really big shift, a really big move in a new direction, letting certain people or situations go from your life. These other two little diamonds here are for the extended reading where I will pull clarifiers. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and move it along and keep moving. And if you would like to have the extended reading, that is in the description to go ahead and get that. Guys, I did the extended for Capricorn. It was like an hour long. So when I say extended, I mean extended. February is going to be 9 of Swords. So you might be feeling some anxiety about this big decision or this big kind of step you're getting ready to take. You might be feeling nervous about it. You might even be feeling guilty about it. I feel that for some of you, because of this decision, because you're feeling like it's time for you to go on a new path or go in a new direction, you may even be feeling kind of judged here. You may be feeling like people are judging you or not happy with you because of the decisions that you're planning on making or the things that you're wanting to do. But what Spirit wants you to know is a lot of the things that you're worried about or a lot of the things that you're scared of happening may not even happen at all. Okay, like you might be worried about things that, even though they're possible, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to take place. You also need to make sure, Aquarius, this is very, very important. You need to make sure that you are getting enough rest in February, that you are getting enough sleep, because for a lot of you, these really big decisions are causing you to have some fear. They're causing you to have some anxiety, and it's causing you to lose sleep. And when we're trying to make a decision, the last thing we want to do is make a decision when we're tired. We don't make good decisions when we're tired. And do not allow this process to rob you of your peace of mind. A lot of the times when 9 of Swords comes up, this is a time when we really need to learn to surrender. We need to learn to trust in some higher power or something bigger outside of ourselves. Okay, so what you might need to do, Aquarius, is try to figure out what or who that is for you so that you're able to say, okay, here's what I can do. Here's what is in my power. Here are the steps I'm going to take to ensure the best outcome that I can possibly ensure. And here's all the things I have no control over. Universe, God, angels, guides, higher self, whatever it is that you believe in. you know, I'm handing this over to you. Thank you for taking care of it for me, because it's out of my hands, or it's outside of my control. So that is something that comes up a lot with Nine of Swords. For me, it's learning to do your best, and that the best you can do is good enough, and that a lot of the things you're worried about happening might not happen at all, and just learning to trust and hand what's out of your control over to something, you know, higher than you, outside of yourself. Nine of Swords could also indicate some of you are feeling judged. So if there are people that in February are making you feel judged, no harm in letting them go. Bye-bye. You know, don't feel bad about that at all. You might be feeling guilt. You might be feeling bad. And it could even be people that you've known a very long time, or people who are family. But if somebody's making you feel crappy, they don't deserve to be around, my darlings. Don't feel bad about that. Not in the least, not in the slightest, okay? Let's go ahead and see what's happening in March 2020 for Aquarius. March 2020 for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. March 2020 for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. And we have, would you look at that, Aquarius? It is you making an appearance in your own little reading here. This is good. I'm happy to see this, because it makes me feel, Aquarius, to see your card coming up in your reading. It makes me feel that for a lot of you, 2020 is going to be your year. And you might not feel that way in the beginning of the year. It might not start out feeling that way. But when you get to March, you know, a lot of you are beginning to feel that, you know what, this is my year, damn it. Like, this is the year that I'm going to be able to have this strength and have this courage and have these things go in my favor. The Star card comes with a beautiful message, which is the worst of it is over. Okay, you're in a time now where you can really expect for things to shift for the better, for things to begin getting better. And maybe in the past you tried to do some things and they wouldn't stick, they wouldn't take hold. The Star card says the plans that you're making, you're going to be able to see them take roots. You're going to be able to see them actually come to fruition. And when you think about the star, my darling, Aquarius, for some of you, it's going to be very much the energy that you're in. The star is this beautiful light that's born of chaos, right? What is a star? It's a great big rock in space that's having all of these chemical gas reactions that are causing these combustions, that are having these little bursts and these little explosions. And we're, you know, billions of miles away looking up, and all we see is the light. And we're like, oh, how beautiful, it's twinkling up there in the sky. But up close, it's just this constant thing of explosion, explosion, explosion. And so you're taking all of the negative experiences that you've had. You're taking all of the chaos, all of the drama, all of the different experiences, and you're recycling it into this light, into this creativity, into this beauty. So Aquarius, if you're somebody who worries that people might be looking at you as like in a damaged way, or looking at you in some way like, you know, you're you know, broken in some way, contrary, people are just going to see you, and all that they're going to see is that light about you, right? Like what you've been through, how you've come out, how you're shining. And the star card a lot of the times can indicate somebody that you've been through the craziness, you've found the way out, and now you're going to be showing others the way. So some of you may really be getting involved in helping at-risk youths, or helping individuals who are, you know, coming out of, you know, some kind of dysfunctional upbringing or unfair economic system. You know, like you might be doing something where you're really feeling like you're taking a lead and helping other people find the way out. And some of you are simply doing it by example. I mark my words, Aquarius, I feel that for a lot of you, 2020 is going to be the year that you're making a lot of changes, and you're going to be very surprised. It might not happen in March, but you are going to have a lot of people people that you've known a long time, people you haven't talked to in a while, they may be, DMing you on like Facebook or Instagram or on social media and just saying that you've really been inspiring them, that you're making them want to change, that you're making them want to do better, or that you're a very special person or you're a very exceptional person. And you might be like, wow, I had no idea this person felt this way, or I had no idea people are noticing me or paying attention to me or seeing how I'm changing. So for a lot of you, you're showing people the way in a way that you don't even realize it yourself. But this is really safe to say, my darlings, this is going to be your year. Okay, so next card here, let's go ahead and ask for April 2020 for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And we have the Fool, another major arcana card, okay? Granted that this is a new deck, but I have shuffled and shuffled and shuffled and shuffled. And you guys are not the first reading I'm doing, but you have these major arcana cards that are coming in back to back. And I can tell you from my experience, not to talk too much about myself, when I was going through my awakening, when I was going through my transition, I had so many major arcana cards that would come up when I tried to read for myself. And I'd say I must not be shuffling well. And I would shuffle again and I would do it again, a bunch of major arcana cards. I'd go to somebody else for a reading, a bunch of major arcana cards. So you are going to have a lot of significant shifts and changes that are happening for you in 2020 very early on. This makes me feel like a lot of you who have been drawn to these videos are really in this place where you're so ready to break out of the generational stuff. You're so ready to just be clear. You're so ready for good things to happen that you're really going into the year very strongly with this intention. And your intention is so strong that you're actually manifesting the shifts. The Fool is taking this leap in this new direction, right? You had this big decision. Can I do it? Am I ready to do it? Should I do it? People are making me feel bad. And by the time you get to April, you're like, here it goes. I'm ready. I'm doing it, right? Obviously, you want to look before you leap. You want to calculate the cost, so to speak, whether it's energetic, time-wise, consequences, financial, whatever it may be. You want to calculate the cost before you leap, but you're making the decision to leap. You're making the decision to go in this new journey. I feel like a lot of you Aquarius, you're just in this place where you're like, anything is better than this. Like, I'm just ready for something new. I'm ready for things to change. It's like the pain of not knowing is worse than finding out and being disappointed. Like, whatever happens, I'm ready for it. And so you're taking this leap into this new direction, into this new kind of way of being. Aquarius, I do feel for some of you, a lot of this has to do with leaving behind some kind of construct in your life. So I don't know if you're walking away from an organization or if this is leaving not just a job, but like a industry. Maybe you're leaving the industry that you're in, or you're leaving like a religious group or something. But I feel for a lot of you, it's like you're leaving a large group of people, if that makes sense. So like a certain community, maybe some of you are having, a change in your political affiliations, but I just feel like a lot of you are taking a leap away from something that was very solid, and it feels to me like leaving a large group of people for some reason. We'll pull clarifiers in the extended, but I just feel like you guys are taking this leap and you're ready for something new. Let's go ahead and see what's happening for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising 2020 in the month of May. 2020, please. Gosh, all these major arcanas. This is a big year. These are big decisions. You have the Chariot, okay? See, sometimes this thing works and sometimes it doesn't. And sure enough, I told you guys. I felt like you were leaving a large group of people. Like you were just kind of going in this new direction. And sure enough, here now, we've got the Chariot. So when the Chariot comes up for me, the Chariot is a card that tells us a couple of things. It's basically like, it's time for you to pick your direction. It's time for you to figure out which direction you want to go in, because changes are about to happen. Like the universe is saying, Tell us what you want so that we can make it happen for you. It's that whole thing of once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. Your angels are ready to step up. They were just waiting for you to make the decision. You're making the decision and the bam, boom, pow, things are moving quickly. The Chariot is also a card that indicates you're doing something on your own, right? The Chariot is driven by one person. There's no co-pilot. There's no passenger. And so this, again, makes me feel like some of you are walking away from a large group of people. Maybe you're walking away from your old support system. Aquarius, I feel for some of you, the reason for this is you're walking away from like a social circle where you feel like things have been very superficial. Some of you are feeling like, man, these, people that I thought had my back, they're more kind of like drinking buddies or party buddies. And, like when we hang out, we get together, like we're gonna network or we're gonna work on things together. But people are just like kind of drinking and nothing's really happening. And even if they're not getting wasted, even if they're not like getting like, just crazy knockout drunk, I feel like some of you are feeling like the people in your life aren't going anywhere. And you're not looking at them in judgment, but you're like, I'm tired of being in this level. Like, I'm ready for the next level. And, maybe you were waiting for a long time, like to find soul family or to find people that saw things your way. But you're like, you know what? I'm ready. I'm ready to go in this new direction. I don't care if anybody's on board with me or not. I don't care if I found a business partner to try out this new idea. I don't care if I found somebody new to be in a relationship with or whatever it is. You're ready to go. You're like, bam, boom, pow. You are ready to go. And you're taking this step, ready to take it on your own. So there's a big life lesson in independence here that's coming up with the Chariot card for a lot of you in May. We're going to go ahead and check out your next card here. June. Please show us June 2020 for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. June 2020 for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Oh my goodness, my darlings. This is insane. You got like all these major arcana cards. This is like going to be a year of milestones for you guys. Even if they're just personal milestones or personal little victories that you're experiencing. The Magician is a card that comes up when you are really on the verge of creating this whole new life. Okay, and I can tell you, I've never seen it been wrong. I've never seen it fail. You might also be seeing in the month of June 1111, 111, 222, 444. You may be seeing those repeating angel numbers. Some of us call those angel numbers. And the universe is just saying, look, you're manifesting really fast right now. What you think about, you bring about, and you are on a fast track in that way. You're really bringing about these things very, very quickly. And so universe is going to try to help keep you on track there so that you're not you're not messing it up, or you're not, like attracting the wrong things. I take the back. I don't want to say messing it up. I don't want to put negativity out there, but so that your negative ego isn't getting in the way and telling you, oh, forget it. It's not going to work. It never works out for me, so that you're not putting out that kind of energy, but that you're staying on track with your positive thoughts, your positive thinking, and what you're manifesting or what it is that you're going to be calling in. So being in that positive kind of energy. The Magician also is like a lot of serendipity comes up when we have the Magician card. Don't be surprised if you're having a lot of really positive coincidences where you're like, oh, I was just looking for office space, and somehow magically, you're like out talking to a bunch of people, or you meet somebody new and they happen to mention some office space that's available, or some class you were thinking about taking, or you were wanting to start on a project and you're like, man, I really wish I knew somebody who is a really talented illustrator. And all of a sudden you're linking up with one, or somebody's mentioning something about an illustrator. Or I'm just giving examples. It doesn't have to be an illustrator. This is a general reading. But you might just have all of this different stuff that's happening where all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness, coincidence after coincidence. This is you being aligned with the universe. This is you getting the hang of manifesting. Okay, we will go more into it in the extended reading when I pull the clarifiers. I'm going kind of quick with the months because some people get very impatient. They have a slow Not slow, but they have a short attention span. So we're going to go ahead and jump into July, and I'm trying to be efficient, friendly to those with, hurry up and get to the meat of it. This is insane. Another major arcana card. Aquarius, this is a big year for you. Big year for you. Okay. The extended reading, I promise you, will be meatier. So you can definitely check that out. And it's only $4.44, guys. I'm keeping it super low cost because I know a lot of people can't really afford, big bucks on readings and things like that. So like an hour reading for $4.44 is a steal. But you have the Well coming up for your July. Some of you are like, what? Major Arcana, the Well? There's actually 2 extra Major Arcana cards. I didn't know until I started working with this deck. I was like, whoa, well, you learn something new every single day. The Well has to do with earth energy, right, Aquarius? You guys are very much an air sign. So you are very much comfortable in the realm of air, in the realm of thought, not getting too emotional about things or not getting too attached to things unnecessarily and, thinking about more important, bigger things in life, not being too overly concerned about the physical. And the Well card is very much earth energy where you are beginning to bring into the physical realm manifestations. The Well card is about creating. It's about ideas coming to you that you're actually doing something with, right? It's not like something that just pops up in your head and you just let it pass on by. You're figuring out how to make it happen. You're figuring out how to bring it into the physical realm. You are producing things physically, okay? I wouldn't be surprised, Aquarius, if for a lot of you, you are receiving these ideas as you are outdoors, okay? And this is coming up for you in July. So depending on what part of the world you live in, you might be spending more time outdoors in July. July might be a really nice, warm, sunny time of year or a comfortable time of year for you to be out there, to be kind of like out and about. But I feel a lot of you are also really connecting with nature. Those of you, Aquarius, where you've been really hungry for connecting with your spirituality, like you've just kind of felt like, I think there's something out there, or I think I have spiritual gifts, but I haven't known how to tap into them. You are going to be drawn to be spending time out in nature. And as you're out in nature, as you're with the trees and the plants and you're in that fresh air, you're going to begin communing with spirit. And this is the thing. It's a very subtle way. People sometimes are waiting for lightning and thunder and for this massive sign to happen. And they're like hearing an angel's voice. And I swear to you, it's not that dramatic. There can be some experiences that are dramatic when, spirit wants to get through to you. But on the typical kind of way, it's not that dramatic. And some of you are beginning to realize that you're hearing the subtle communication. You're hearing the messages. You're feeling them resonate with you. And for a lot of you, these messages are coming in with ways that ideas are coming in for you with your abundance. Aquarius, I'm not sure why, but I feel some of you are very, very concerned about growing older. You're very concerned about where your finances are in terms of your retirement. And I feel something is happening in July of 2020 where some brilliant idea is coming to you that's going to take care of that. Whether it be something that's going to produce a massive landslide of money so that you just have it in big, and you might not receive that landslide of money in July, right? But you might end up inventing something or creating something that you sell to some company and they give you a nice big, meaty check, or it could be that you're coming up with some idea for some kind of like a passive income. Maybe it's not coming in one big heaping thing, but there's going to be something that's producing for you and you are receiving money on an ongoing basis, which is going to help or take care of certain needs. So there's some idea coming to you all in July, and I do feel there's a spiritual connection, but I also feel the idea is coming in a way where you're producing stability for yourself long term. It feels to me like it's linked to your finances, okay? So August August 2020, please, for our lovely, darling Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising friends. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. We have, Ace of Cups, one of my faves. Those of you who watch my videos, you know this. You know that I absolutely love and adore the Ace of Cups. So Ace of Cups is happy experiences, positive experiences, things that are coming in that are bringing you joy. So in an existing relationship, if you've been coupled with somebody for a very long time, this could indicate that, as you know, we know in July you're going to be busy with ideas and getting in those creative energies. So it could be that as you're like feeling good and you're busy with this stuff, it's bringing a new era of love into an existing relationship. Your person might be looking over at you and saying, "Wow, Aquarius, there's something different about you. I like it." You know, so there could be something where you're getting closer to each other, or there's like a renewed sense of love. Sometimes I see it come up in relationships and they're like, "Oh, let's go renew our vows." And it could be something like this. For other ones of you, you are attracting and calling in a significant love, like real love, like emotional connection. And this is fresh in my mind because I'm doing these readings in December. And Aquarius, I know some of you in December were experiencing coming into the heart space and the heart chakra kind of opening up. So some of you are really, really attracting true emotional intimacy in a relationship, or becoming more comfortable with emotional intimacy. Now, this is a really beautiful thing, and I love when Spirit does this with like the picture associations. But what's jumping out at me with the Ace of Cups is these wings kind of here in the back. That looks to me like an eagle. And I associate the eagle with freedom. Maybe it's because I'm American, born and raised in America. But when I see the eagle, I think of freedom. So Aquarius, I think for some of you, maybe it was hard to have emotionally intimate, connected relationships because you felt like you were losing a sense of freedom. But something is happening in August where you're moving past that and you're like, hey, no, I can still be a free person, but have this emotional connection or be in this long-term committed relationship. For other ones of you, this is going to be some project that's coming in where you're allowed to do the things that bring you joy and you don't feel restricted. You feel like you're in your freedom. So there could be something artistically you're getting involved in or creatively that you're getting involved in that's allowing you to express yourself and feel free. And that might be making life feel a lot more pleasant for you. But the main reason why Ace of Cups is super duper one of my favorite cards ever. Those of you who watch my videos, you know you've heard me say this. When I see Ace of Cups come up, it tells me that you are breaking out a very significant time of blockages where, you know, we all have been through it, guys. I know I have. I think all of us humans have been through it, where we go through a cycle where we have the same crap happen again and again. And we're like, again, are you serious? Again, like every person I date seems to be the same jerk, or every single job I have seems to be the same drama or whatever, like just again and again and again. And we finally get to a point where we're like, I'm so over it. I am so done. I am so sick of feeling this way. Universe, I'm so done with this. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. I've learned my lesson. I know what the red flags are. I know what to look out for. And I'm not having it. I'm not doing this kind of situation anymore. Universe says, yes, awesome, amazing. Aquarius is awake. Aquarius is awake. Aquarius no longer needs the pain or the discomfort to get them moving. Aquarius no longer needs the discomfort or the pain to teach them. They're awake. They're ready to move. Aquarius is ready to learn from love, happiness, achievement, accomplishment. I always kind of say, it's like, in school, there's some teachers that all the kids are like, oh man, I got that teacher. And there's some teachers that kids are like, oh wow, I hope I get to be in their class, because that teacher teaches in a fun way. That teacher teaches in a way where like the kids are really enjoying it and feel like they can be themselves. So the Ace of Cups to me is when you switch over that karma, where you're ready for the positive karmic lessons, you're ready for the positive karmic cycles, you're ready for the experiences where you say, yes, please, more of this, thank you, where you're learning your spiritual lessons through happiness, through receiving, through love. And that's why I always get really happy or really excited when I see the Ace of Cups come up for somebody. Okay, on to the next card for September. 2020 for our darling Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Ooh, what confirmation do we have here for our sweet Aquarius, our Aquarii? We have Six of Swords coming up for you in your September. Six of Swords is a card that has to do with getting away from drama, getting away from craziness, getting away from the unfortunate experiences of, people kind of giving you a headache or getting in your business. This could be happening for some of you in a way in which maybe you're taking a trip or going on vacation. Six of Swords can definitely indicate something that's happening where you're taking a trip or, just taking some time off to enjoy yourself. But I feel, and I'm not sure if this came up for Capricorn. This card did come up for Capricorn, but I'm not sure if this message came up for them. But if you have Capricorn in your moon or in your rising, and if it did come up for Capricorn, then that's like a double whammy for you. That's like a super, super confirmation. I feel with the Six of Swords that there's actually a physical travel happening for some of you, but you're going in a way where there's also maybe in the back of your mind some kind of like you're doing reconnaissance in terms of you're maybe thinking of relocating. So you're not just going on vacation. You're not just taking a trip. You're trying to kind of imagine, what do apartments go for out here? Or what do houses go for out here? Or what is the job market like? Or what are the neighborhoods like? Or, what would it be like living in this area? So even though you may be going on a trip to get away or to have fun, I do feel some of you are looking in a way of where you're actually thinking of relocating, okay? It may not happen in 2020, in terms of actually making the actual relocation. But I feel 2020, you're starting to gather that information. You may go back to that place a couple of times and you may go check out other places. But something about this trip or travel to me feels like you're also thinking about getting a fresh start elsewhere. For some of you, this is just getting mental clarity, being able to clear your head. I'm getting a sense of being yelled at, like just like a nagging, high-pitched yelling. So I don't know if this is like a sibling or a spouse or a parent for some of you. But if you've been having a really hard time getting away from this really high, shrieking, nagging, whoever this is, you're going to get away from it. You're going to be able to get away from it once and for all. And I feel for some of you, this is like a desire to go overseas and you're feeling that it's very impossible. But something may be happening for you in September where you're actually getting a chance to go. So maybe you're getting some work visa approved. Maybe you're going somewhere on a work visa. Maybe you're coming to the United States on a work visa. Maybe some of you have been hoping to come here and it's been felt so impossible, but maybe you're getting away from the shrieking. You're getting that work visa and you're able to leave. Or maybe you want to leave America to get away from the shrieking, whatever it might be. I do feel there's some sense of travel here, okay? Let's go ahead and see what's happening in October 2020 for our darling Aquarius. October 2020 for Aquarius. And we have Two of Swords. This is a card that comes up when somebody might be very, very fearful about taking the steps, right? It's almost like in September you saw the possibilities and you began making the plans. And then as October rolls around, you're like, whoa, but wait a minute. Am I really ready for this? Can I really do this? Like you're afraid of taking the steps and you're afraid to look forward. And those of you that watch my readings, you heard me say this. For me, when I see Two of Swords, it's a warning that if you don't take the steps, you're going to have some kind of a tower moment. So I feel something is happening for some of you Aquariuses in October where you're sweeping something under the rug. Like somebody's nagging you or somebody's giving you a hard time and you're saying, oh, it'll be okay. It'll get better. Or, I can handle it. Or it doesn't bother me that much. Or something's happening at work and the writing's on the wall that they're going to close the doors or business isn't good or something. And you're just like, yeah, it'll get better. It's okay. It'll get better. And you're just kind of like ignoring it or, Two of Swords for me is the ostrich with its head in the sand. Like, you don't want to look. You don't want to acknowledge the signs that are around you that you need to take these steps. So if you don't take the steps, well then, the universe will come in and push you off the diving board. And you'll be okay once you're in the water, but it doesn't feel fun to be pushed off the diving board. So my advice to you is whatever's happening in October 2020, Aquarius, stay alert. Don't dismiss things. Don't ignore things. You're being given signs to encourage you to keep moving forward. It's like that door opened and some of you don't want to go through it, and because you're afraid, and there's really nothing to be afraid of. I mean, look at her. She's got these blindfolds on, but she's got these two swords in her hand. What does she have to be afraid of? So don't be afraid to move forward, okay? I just kind of feel like October might be a tricky month where it's very tempting for you to try to go back to sleep. But once you're awake, you can't go back to sleep, okay? So keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and check out your November 2020. November 2020 for our darling Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And we have the Hanged Man, Aquarius, see? So some of you are trying to shift direction. That's what's happening. This change that's coming in is so big that some of you, after going through this whole thing where you're like, okay, well, you know, maybe it'll get better. Okay, maybe it's not. I got to go in a different direction. And so you begin trying to take steps for something else, right? Well, instead of starting that business, or instead of working for myself, I'll just look for another job, right? Or instead of, being in that relationship, I'll just go do this other thing and focus on this for a while because you're afraid of letting somebody in, or whatever it might be. So what's going to happen for you is you get into November, that stuff might start to stall. It might be difficult. It might be difficult to find that other job because you're kind of really meant to do the self-employed thing. Or it might be difficult to keep busy because you are meant to experience the experience of connecting with somebody emotionally, not putting walls up all the time, whatever it might be. But when the Hangman comes up, there's a timeout, okay? Like, you're being put on this cosmic timeout, not because you've been naughty, not because you're like being punished, but because the universe is asking you to look at the situation from a different angle. There's something that you're missing here. There's something that you're missing here. And before you are given what you're asking for, before this new order comes in, the universe is just asking you to really double check, really make sure that this is really what you want. Because the universe knows, your guides and angels know, that once you get it, you're not going to be happy. And you're going to be like, oh, I wish I would have done the other thing. So really, really double check here. Make sure that what you're manifesting and what you're calling in is truly, truly what you want. I'm getting a visual here, Aquarius, of like, being out in the ocean, like being in the water and allowing a lifeboat to pass you by, right? So maybe your guides and angels aren't going to leave you completely and totally stranded, and eventually you'll be plucked out and taken to something else. But that lifeboat may have really given you a lot more freedom, or a lot more choice, or a lot more direction. And the universe is saying, hey, maybe just pay attention to this lifeboat. Maybe pay attention to this option. Like, you're being led in a new direction, or you're being guided in the direction that's going to make you happier. Obviously, we all have free will, right? Our angels and guides can't really force something upon us. And so, you'll be given something else at some point. But they're just really asking you to just really, really look at the situation from all angles. And if you're not sure what it is you're missing, you can definitely ask your angels and guides. You can say, please help me see what I'm missing. Please help me realize what it is that I'm not quite catching here. Journaling is really great for this, guys. When you journal and just write down your feelings, you'll be amazed at what comes up. So I feel like there's going to be a really big shift. But before that really big shift happens, it's the calm before the storm. It's the quiet time to just really, like I said, dot those I's, cross those T's, get ready for that change. So next here we have, for the month of November 2020, Ace of Wands. So see, an opportunity is presenting itself to you. Some opportunity is coming in. And Ace of Wands is, there could be a lot of, exciting energy coming in. in terms of things that you're passionate about. There could be a passion project coming your way, and maybe you don't have a lot of high hopes of it being too big or it going anywhere. But the message with Ace of Wands is that you're going to get back from this what you put into it. So don't underestimate it. In other words, there's potential here. There's potential for this to expand and to be bigger than what you had realized. It's also something wishing to bring you into your like I said, your passion energy, your joy energy, things that you're excited about. I really feel, Aquarius, a lot of you are going to have a chance to be a part of something very creative. And like any opportunity, you know, you're going to have to go for it. So whatever's being presented to you in November 2020, you're being encouraged to go for it, to get involved. Some of you don't want to do it. I'm feeling, or I'm getting the message that you're seeing this as frivolous or silly, or like pointless. Because you're thinking from a very logical, like responsible way. Like, oh, well, is it going to bring me in money, or is it going to do this, or is it going to do that, or what is the benefit of me doing this other than just kind of letting loose? Well, I do feel it's something that might start off as fun and just something that you're doing just to do it, but it may grow into something bigger. It's either aligning you with people that's going to get you to more productive things financially, or, you know, networking wise, or whatever it may be. It may seem silly in the beginning, or it may seem frivolous in the beginning, but I really feel like we see here something it's going to grow, you know? Like we see those little branches that are beginning to branch out, that are beginning to sprout those beautiful flowers. I also feel this is really interesting. Again, I'm not trying to get all biblical on any of you, but it makes me think the hand grasping this rod here and the way that it's flowering, it makes me feel like the story from the Old Testament when Moses was told to like find another priest or another leader, or who the next priest was going to be. And so he went and he gave them like walking sticks. He gave them like staffs, because Spirit told him whose ever staff begins to flower, like blossom flowers, that is the chosen one. That is the anointed one. Like that's who's going to be the next priest, who's going to lead, you know, the people. And so it was Aaron, it was Moses' brother. His walking stick began to like grow flowers, began to kind of sprout. So I feel that this is something you are being chosen for. You might kind of take it in a timid kind of way, or really not anticipating anything of it, but it may be much bigger than what you're thinking, and it may be something that's really leading you to feeling connected with your purpose, or feeling like you're in your element, feeling like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do, right? It may end up being a missing piece for a lot of you that you didn't know where to even look for it. So whatever this opportunity is in November, my darlings, give it a chance, okay? Let's see December 2020 for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So we have here, ooh, another major arcana, the Hierophant. How crazy. I was just talking about priests, and here we have the Hierophant. Here we have the priest. Confirmation much? I don't know. So the Hierophant is going to have to do, my dears, with rules, like traditions, I guess I want to say. Traditions, the way things are done. It could have to do with the whole kind of like you connecting with your religious beliefs from when you were young, or re-examining your religious beliefs. It can also have to do with some kind of oath or some kind of contract, okay? So some of you may be taking some kind of oath to serve. Okay, maybe it's linked to something that you're doing in terms of career, or maybe it's something that you're doing in terms of, some volunteering that you're doing, or maybe you're making an oath with a certain person, you're making a pact or a bond. It can be an engagement, it can be getting married, truth being revealed about a situation. These are general readings, so the energies will come up in different ways. You know, it's in a more personal reading that we're able to kind of pinpoint it a little bit more. You know, but the Hierophant, again, is major arcana. So whatever this is that's happening for you in December, it has to do with you really connecting with your lessons and your path and purpose and what you came here to do and what you came here to learn. I feel like what's happening for you in December with this card is you are in your heart making an allegiance. Let me try to make this make sense for you, what I'm trying to say. I feel like you're committing to something on an emotional level that you wholeheartedly believe in, that you wholeheartedly, like, you feel this is the right thing. This is the right thing to do. It could be a religious conversion, especially since some of you are walking away from some kind of, you know, with that Fool card, some of you may be leaving some kind of organization. There could be some religious conversion that you're doing, or there could be something that you're doing in terms of you're just really figuring out where your heart is. Like, you're figuring out really what it is you want to do to help, what it is you want to do to serve. I keep hearing to serve and to protect. So I don't know if some of you are like wanting to go into law enforcement, or some of you are in law enforcement and you're, you know, taking it like recommitting to it in some way. But I keep hearing that, to serve and to protect. And maybe it's not a law enforcement thing. Maybe it's just something within yourself that you're seeing where you can be of service. I just feel like you're committing, or you're feeling like this is it. This is what I'm meant to do. This is the cause I'm meant to commit to. Okay, let's go ahead and see what angel will be with our darling Aquarius friends in the month, not in the month, but in the year 2020. So we thank you, Hierophant, for coming and saying hello. Let's see what angel will be coming in. And this is it used to be the Archangel Tarot, but I think now they're called Angel Tarot cards because of the whole, you know, Doreen Virtue thing. Now they're Radley Valentine cards. But I took out all the other cards and I just pulled out the angel cards. And you have released Archangel Azrael. So Archangel Azrael, as we know here, is the angel of release. And of course, this diamond is not cooperating with me for the last and final card. But the words here is the end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. Now, for those of you that you know tarot and you know the major arcana, you're going to know that this is actually the death card. And the death card is the card of Scorpio. Okay, so there could be a Scorpio in your life that is making a really big impact, or is, you know, kind of helping you wake up in some way. You may be doing a project with a Scorpio, but not necessarily. You know, it's their astrological sign. For a lot of you, this is some kind of an ego death. Okay, when the death card comes up in tarot, there's this whole energy of the old sense of self passing away and there being a rebirth, like the phoenix rising from the ashes. So Archangel Azrael is going to be here to help you with that process, to help you with the release, to help you let go of what is not serving you, or what is just ready to go, to let the old, like, let the dead leaves drop off the tree, so to speak, you know, and to have the new leaves come forward. So some of you are going to be walking away from a lot of, you know, like I said, people, organizations, beliefs, maybe even political affiliations, because you're seeing that you're going in a different direction or things are changing. But the beautiful thing about it is, as you release, as you let go, you're coming more into your sense of self. Okay, so Azrael is here with all of that, my darlings. Again, I thank you so much for watching. Guys, it's been, I can't believe a year has gone by. I really appreciate those of you who've been here, who've been supporting, who've been watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I'm wishing you an amazing 2020. If you would like a private, personal 2020 reading, you can click on the Calendly link to schedule your private reading with me. And if you don't want to do a private reading, or you can't quite afford one, the extended reading is very, very helpful. And it is a full reading, guys. I mean, I'm doing all the cards again with clarifiers, so it'll be about an hour long, maybe longer. Capricorns is an hour long. So if you go ahead and if you go ahead and follow the instructions in the description of the video. You will receive the link for the extended reading. It's only $4.44 through PayPal. And again, guys, just thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And I'm wishing you an amazing year.